Hello, and today's topic is thought, reading from an excerpt from the book Agastya the Path, which is a translation of the sacred book Agasthiyar Vazhipaadu. Sage Agastya explains about thoughts. Thoughts are very powerful. Where do thoughts arise? Thought is a form of energy available in the cosmos, just like light. Thought needs a vehicle to express itself. Mind is the vehicle of thought. Thoughts arise constantly in a person. They are like small ripples within the ocean, or they can spring up like a volcano. Thoughts are dormant in the subconscious mind. Very few know that they have carried over strong thoughts from previous lives. That is why an apparently gentle person sometimes commits heinous crimes that cannot be explained. So thoughts are within and without. We share a mental body that draws thoughts from outside and supplies it to the human mind. Thought is also like the juice obtained from the fruit called knowledge. During sleep, thoughts are awakened or released. People see different things happen in their dream. A psychologist would interpret these as the expression of the deeper mind or the subconscious mind. Up to this, I have explained what is thought and from where it arises, says Sage Agastya. Now let me explain how thoughts are expressed. He says, I have compared thoughts to ripples under the sea. When the ripples are strong, they rise up to the surface and develop into waves. The size and force of the waves are influenced by factors like the wind and the moon. Similarly, thoughts present within the mind generally develop and subside. They are not expressed or put into action. The person himself may not be aware of this most of the time. And if we think about it, thoughts are continuously playing in our minds. We see something, we start thinking about it, and before we know it, the one thought has led to the other, and we are somewhere else. And that is what Sage Agastya is talking about. The Sage Agastya says, the person himself is not aware of this. When a person starts meditating and contemplating in a quiet place, he becomes aware of these thoughts. The thoughts of the present and the past, and sometimes even the past life, rise up and the person is able to remember them. This is what a person practicing meditation as a beginner experiences. This is what they express as disturbing thoughts. Thoughts do not come from the outside during meditation like many of us feel. They actually come from within. When the thoughts arise and they're allowed to go, the person feels lighter. This is how the process of meditation helps remove thoughts from the person who is meditating. As thoughts are deliberately allowed to escape from the mind, a new space is created in which the person invites and accumulates higher knowledge. This state is known as the fourth state of consciousness or the Turiya state. This is neither waking, sleeping, nor the dreaming state. Devoid of unnecessary thoughts, the mind enjoys immense joys. This period can be described as the Sat Chit Ananda state. And then he says, I'm giving you a very lengthy introduction to the nature of various thoughts. In a normal person, when a thought arises to the surface, it gets connected to his chitta, the lower mind, or the manas, which is the general thinking faculty. There are different types of persons with different types of vritti or mental types. Vedic scholars describe this as tamas, rajas, and sattvic gunas or character. Depending on the degree of dominance of any of these gunas, the person is labeled as possessing one of these three gunas or characters. So, when a thought arises, it is necessary to understand its influence on the nature of the person. For example, when a snake is encountered, a person with tamoguna will stand rooted on the spot in shock. There is no action from him. A person with rajoguna either kills it or dares to pick it up. A person with the sattvic guna looks at the snake as part of creation, remains unperturbed, and just walks away. So when thoughts arise, they combine with the nature of the person and then they are expressed in the form of words or deeds. The expression may be pleasant or unpleasant depending on the effect it produces on another person. For example, when love is expressed in action, such as between a mother and child or spouses, it is pleasant. On the other hand, a bad thought, such as hatred or jealousy, arising in the raja state, shows itself in the form of anger. So let us think about it. Why do people express anger? We want to think about what is the character of the person and what kind of thought is arising within them that is making them realize or express it this way. And when we understand that, then the action of the person or the thought of or the expression of the thought of the person will not affect us. Some people hide this emotion for a long time. Not finding a release, these thoughts accumulate in the body and affect vital parts such as the heart, kidney, or lungs. So that, according to Sage Agastya, means we need to watch our thoughts. He says it's better to express them, but not to accumulate them because it can actually affect our organs. That is why, and again Sage Agastya says, organs in people who hide their feelings are damaged. That is why it is better to allow such negative thoughts to surface instead of suppressing them. So when we have a negative thought, it's best to express it, maybe express it in a nice way, speak to each other, try to understand each other. But bottling it up is worse, he says. So understand that thoughts arise based on experience and are expressed in diverse ways depending on the nature of the person. The force of thought expressed results in action. Negative actions harm others. Positive actions please others. So that is the end of what Sage Agastya said. And what we learn from this is we must watch our thoughts. And understanding that some of these thoughts arise from what we see, what we hear, we must watch what we see or what we hear. So that is what they call in Hindu tradition as satsang, company of the good. Think good thoughts, watch good things, hear good things, read good things. These will help us develop a better attitude and help us create a more peaceful atmosphere at home and with others, with the self and with others. And by changing ourselves, by understanding how our thoughts are expressed, we can change our environment. And this will have a ripple effect as people start changing. Thank you.